Hey guys, new video, new stuff, new updates. Let's check them out. As you can see, we're gonna do a lot of deforming, morphing, revolving, creating a complex component with multiple states. And in the end, I will show you a cool feature that Adobe introduced, I think this month, which will be very useful in the future. So you know the drill, the file is down in the description. Please download it, all the assets are included, and let's get started. So this is your file, where we will have all the assets, the logo, the menu component, social media, main components, which will animate, and some other details. Let's take another quick look before we delete everything. The morphing effect, super nice, super easy to do. The revolving effect, you can see here. And the interesting super component menu with a multi-state interaction. Good. Let me just hide it. Delete everything. Oops, I don't want to delete the artboard. Just want to delete the assets because we need to spend a lot of time replacing the guides, which took me some while to define them. I will just, oops, it's hard to delete. Delete this. We'll be working on this artboard. As you can see, as a background, I have a super light gray. It's not pure white. First thing first, let's drag our first component, and when we drag it, it will snap to its place, thanks to the guides. Second, let's just add our second component, which we'll be placing here, and our third one, which we'll be placing beneath. Let's find a good position, something like so. Send it to back. What we want to add, it's our logo, and just snap it to the first guide here. Cool. Hold Alt and drag the menu component. It looks small, but it's very big. What we want to add, our title, which is a default text. If you want to change it, please do that. It will look much more better in your portfolio if you will use it with a real content instead of just a lorem ipsum text, which I think all of us are starting to hate it. Let's copy the slider. Make sure you have selected the blue arrow and the numbering. Hold Alt and just place it somewhere here. 20 pixels between, perfect. What we are missing, the social tab, which I just use it. Typography, no fancy icons. I really dig this type of social media tab. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, just an example. Good. At this point, we are pretty much done for just having a snapshot or just an image, but we don't want to have that. We want to have something cool, so clients will come to us like crazy. Yeah. Let's make a copy of this artboard. Let's rename it. Let's leave it like so, home 1. Okay, and in home 1, what you want to do is just drag the component above and be sure to place the second card image right here. And do the same with this one. Just drag it up, super easy, super simple. They will snap into place. You can see the distance between them. And I will show you why I used such a big distance in this component and such a small one in this one. And if we double click on the title, I have two titles there. One which is with 0 opacity, and if we drag the slider back to 100, you will see it, and decrease the first one to 0. This is also for super simple animation, playing with opacity. Moving to the next one. Now, from now on, things start to get fun. If you double click this component, you will have access to this card with this image, which is masked, as you can see here. If you go inside this mask, we have a path and the image. The path is the mask, this one, and the image is this one. You want to go to the path and just click on it. I just set some points in the middle, right, left, and down. There are some extra points which we will move around, create some deforming, some organic waves, stuff like that, not with sharp corners. Let's move this on inside. Now let's do it like this. As you can see, this is the line. It's not very visible, but we will manage to work with it. Right now, I think you will have more time to tweak it, create a super interesting shape. I think I will leave it like so. And you can select the entire path and just narrow it down a bit. Great, perfect. What we want to do with the image, which maybe we will decrease its size. I think this looks good, and rotate it and find a good rotation position. Well, for now we can see we can follow the curvature of this hill, since we'll have this curve here following the hill's curve here. Works perfect. I think this is cool. I will leave it like so. Moving on the next artboard. So this card will transform to this if we did it right, and I didn't do anything wrong. Let's check it, and let's link them. Select the component, switch to the prototype tab, drag the link to the artboard. As a trigger, we're going to use a drag. Destination home 1, easing. Let's use ease out. Let's make our first try. Let me decrease a bit. Let's see. Yeah, you see? The image is somehow rotating, creating a super interesting effect, and it's scaling up to its original size. Super cool effect, which I dig very much. And you can see here the different speeds that each card has. The main one are pretty much appearing very fast, and they are a bit slow, which the one on the right are moving way more faster, since the components have to travel much more distance pixels between the start. Oh, sorry. They have to travel much more space in our artboard than the main big component. I hope you understand it. It's okay. It's creating some kind of parallax effect. As you can see, the on the roads are moving way much faster than the one in the middle, the big ones, are creating the effect that those are somehow in front of you, you know, parallax stuff. Everybody knows it. Okay, let's hide them. Moving to this artboard, we're gonna do the same thing as we did on the previous artboard to the lighthouse card. You're gonna go into the group, switch to design tab, click 1-2 times on the path, and don't add extra points. If you want to add extra points on this one, you should go back and add an extra point on that one. I just added by mistake. Just use the anchor points. Let's follow a bit, I don't know, the road, like so. Something like this. And we want to rotate the image, I think something like so. It will work. Let's narrow down the width of the path, something like this, and perfect. Let's give it another try. Yeah, super interesting, super smooth. I think this is not the greatest shape for the first image. I think you should tweak it a bit more and have an interesting shape there. But for now, as an example, you know how to work with them. Perfect. Moving on. The same thing will apply to this component. Same things that we did on the main component, on the bigger one. Let's do it. Double click, enter the mask group, select the path, double click, use the anchor points, double click to get the anchor points, the lines. Let's create something. Let's reverse this like so. Works great. Oops. I think here we have just points. Let's double click. We're snapping on the guides. Yeah, make sure you double click on the middle points to have the Beziers displayed. We have them. We need to do on all 4 of them. They are. And they are. Okay. And we want to, let's say, decrease the image. Decrease the size. Make it smaller. Let's see what we have created so far. I super hate when they make it full screen. Super subtle effect. Nice. The same thing we will do to this image card. Get inside the group, select the path, double click on the middle point, on the first select the path, then we should go to the middle point and deform it, create a something like this. I will just drag it, double click to have the Beziers. and yeah, something like this. I'll leave it like so. You will have more time to play with it. Another look. Something is wrong, but yeah. And you know why we didn't add the Bezier curves to this path? No, we need to add it, to add them on all 4 points. It's here. We add it. Double click on the point. We have them, make sure you have them. And we have Bezier lines on each of them. Yeah, you can see now we have a more smoother line when we have the Bezier lines. Nice. Moving on. Let's create the revolving effect. What I did here, let me just make a copy and let me explain it right here. This is a mask. As you can see, if you go inside, we have a rectangle, which is the mask where we mask the numbers, and a group where we have the groups, the numbers, sorry, the slider numbering. And what exactly we will do, we have 4, just an example, we have 4 images. That's it, and we want to get the revolve effect. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and again 1, 2, 3, 4. Some kind of loop. Now, depending on how much, how many images do you want to slide. And for now, we're gonna use just 1, and let's see the distance. It's from 7 pixels from the edge of the mask. Oops. Select all of them, move them outside. I think, let's double check. 9 pixels. Select them all and use the arrow key for 1 pixel, 1, 2, and you have 7 pixels. Yeah. And what we want to do, just increase the opacity. All of those are reduced to 20, if I'm right, 20. And for the number 1, reduce it to 20. And that's it. Now let's apply this technique to this group. Get inside the group, select all the numbers, which are masked by this big rectangle. Drag them here. Let's make sure we have 7. Perfect. Increase opacity to 100, reduce to 20. Switch to prototype tab. And for this, I just want to have a tap animation. Use the tap trigger, auto animate ease in, ease out. Let's use ease in, ease out. 0.4. I think it's enough. Let's hit it. It's a bit fast. Let's use 0.8. I think it's decent and very smooth. I like it. I will leave it like so. Okay, let's close it. I think in this part I will show you in the end the new update with this component. And what we have, a super cool thing, oh, the menu. what we have here. Let me. First we have our tap trigger, then the hover. What's going on? Something. Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, make sure you have the menu component above everything, because we need to do that. Let's close the groups, save some space. I think perfect. Let me make it smaller. Tap, hover, then it stops. Tap again, it moves. Tap again, and we're at the beginning. We can start over. Tap, hover, wait, tap, wait, tap again, and we have a loop. And I know it's a lot of things, a lot of interactions to do, but as a prototype, and when you want to show it in your portfolio or present it to the client, it's super good to have it like so. You have the record option here. You can just show it the effect that you want to achieve, and it's super cool to do it like so. Wait, tap again, and it's from the beginning again. Let me just quickly show how I did it. Let me switch to the design tab. I will make a copy here and deconstruct it. As you see here on the right, we have the default state, which is this one. We have the hover, which is this one. We have the drop, which is this one. Then we want to slide it to the left of the artboard, which is this one. Then we have the final state, the loop one, which is actually the first state. You can tap between them and you will see they are the same. And that's why I call it loop, not the end or the final one. Okay, switch to prototype tab. And from the default state, we want to have it as a tap when it's sliding, adding trigger tap, and the destination, the hover state, which is this one. When you tap, it will transform automatically to this one. From here, if you stay with the mouse over, trigger hover, destination drop, it will transform to this one. And from here, I just want to stay here for a moment. Okay, take a look. And when you tap, it doesn't really matter where inside the menu, it will transform to this state, which is when it's sliding. And as long as you hover over it, it will transform to the final state, to the loop one, where more exactly you need to be with the mouse right in this area, because if you're outside the area, it will go back to this section. But if it's hard for you to do, we can just add a ghost trigger. You can just, I just named them ghost triggers. An object behind with zero opacity, but this is a ghost. Everything inside can react, even if you don't see it. So let me show again. Tap. We have the mouse over. It moves to the hover state. See, if I'm not with the mouse on the exact shape, it will not happen. It will stay like this. When you hover, it's transformed to this. See? Okay, we want to wait, take a look at the menu, blah, blah, blah. And we want to get rid of it. Tap. We need to be with the mouse in this area. So you can see if you're outside, it will go back to the one step back. Just in this final area. We're here, tap one more time, and we're at the beginning. Because I think I forgot to mention about on the loop one, since this is the final state, I used a tap trigger and the destination, the default state, and it's jumping back to this one. And you can go again and present it. Another thing, let's go back to this one. Double click, get inside. We have the icon menu, which now is black and is grouped. We have the rectangle, the blue one, and beneath we have the orange one. I have two. These are just the assets inside this component. Default or loop. Moving to hover, the same components, we switch to the design, are here. I just change the size of them. As you can see, the orange one and the blue one are extended. The icons, if you get inside of the group, you will see you have a line, a path, and another line. For those, I just use the rotating tool with a positive 45 degrees, this one minus 45, and the middle dash from the burger menu, I just extended to just a random number and change the color of them. This one is the upper arrow part, which is rotated. This is the middle one, and this is the down one. Just change the color, move the position, and that's it. Here in this state on the hover, I just added the content, which is pretty much this one. The logo name, the theme, the menu items, I just randomly put some stuff instead of lorem ipsum. We want to have it opacity to 0 in this state. Moving to the drop state, as you can see, the content is expanded. In the previous state, on the hover, if you go inside content, oops, I just squished them down like so. You can see them inside there are overlapping. I reduced the height of all of them together. And on a drop state, I just increase them and they will have an interesting effect from somehow, I don't know how to explain it, inflate. This is the middle state of the animation. Then we slide it back, slide it to the left. And here, what I did with the main content, as you can see it, it's right there, but I move it to the left, reduce opacity to 0. You can, if you want, you can squish it, leave it like so. Created the background, as you can see here, blue and orange. Kept the original width of the background, and in the loop is just the initial state. So tap, hover, drop, slide back again. I hope I was clear enough, because if you totally do not really understand how I explain it, you can just break it down and play around, and for sure you will get it at one point or another. Let me just delete this. And pretty much this is how you do with mask, how you create some morphing, some deformations, a revolving effect, a super cool menu. You can see we need to be inside the component, tap, be with the mouse right here, click, and again. If you stay with the mouse right on the burger, it's super cool. You will not have many issues like this one. Or if you like it, you can just leave it like so. Cool. Moving to the... Oh, I think I missed something. Yeah. On this component, we want to... Let me delete this. Double click here. Select the description for this image. Reduce opacity to 0 because we want to get rid of it. And go back here. Select this one. Reduce opacity to 0. And let me show you why. When you're starting to slide, it's starting to fade, and pretty much the very top it's barely visible. We forgot one thing, to connect it back with a drag gesture. Easy. Let's use this out. Easy peasy. Okay, a super cool update that Adobe introduced is they added anchor points. Let me show you what is that more exactly. Maybe some of you already know. So for example, since we are just doing this section, just the upper part of a website, the above the fold section, let's say you want to continue with this project and create it, put your creativity to work and continue on it. Let's say we have here another section. Let's use it in blue, get rid of the border. Let's use some text here, text. Increase the size. Let's use Playfair. Make it white. Too much. Oops, what we have here? It's a V. Okay, so for example, let's say this is a component, I don't know, a quote, or I don't know, whatever. Going to the prototype, since this is the viewport height from here, you will just see what is between the viewport height and the upper top of the artboard. And if you scroll, you will get down below the viewport. Okay, let's select this component, connect it to where we want to go. For example, if I click on this, I want to automatically scroll down the website to this section. And what we want to do as a trigger, tap, type scroll to. And when you're tapping, it's automatically scrolling to this component, And if we do a reverse, tap, scroll to destination M, as I name it. No, what did I just missed? Destination. Oh, we didn't link it. Group 19, this is how I think this is named. Yes, group 19. Go back. Now that's the fun part. Why it's not scrolling back to the entire homepage. As you see here, we have an Y offset. What does it mean? Let me just show you. Let's say we have selected this component, and if we increase the offset, no, select this one, which is connected to this one, and if you increase the offset, it's how to explain, something like increasing the height of the component, something invisible. If we just offset it to 144, if you make a test right now, you will get 144 pixel above, like adding let's say padding. We can use it as a padding example. You're adding some space where it should stop. It's like being part of this component, this offset area. If we put, let's say, 324, you see this is the offset and it's stopped right here, like it's the upper part of the component, and it's displaying from here to here. Oops. Let's put the offset back. Oh, or maybe just drag it even more, even lower. And increase the offset. We want to have it right in the middle of our display, or right in the middle of our artboard. Yeah, super cool. Now when you want to go back, we want to offset this section as high as we can, pretty much to the top of the artboard, like so. So it's forcing all the content to be pushed down, and this component with this invisible component offset to be displayed on the entire artboard. Yeah, once again, it's like adding some invisible part to the component. I find it super useful, but we're gonna talk in another video. So let's take one final look. Oops, sorry. And since the menu is a component, it will work on any pages that you will additionally add or create or And when you want to change it, make sure you use the master component. As you see, this is a white diamond, an empty diamond, which is meaning that this is not the master component. This is a copy, like a children. If you want to edit master component, and it will create a master component, and I don't know why it's placed here. I think this is another copy. Yeah? This is the master one. And if I want to change here, you can see they change everywhere, even on this page. And I think that's it for today. I hope I didn't forget anything. Let me double check. No. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe. And take care. Stay home and see you next time. Bye.